The Dallas Cowboys sent the NFL a reminder, so we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is the Dallas Cowboys have some key good signs heading into the playoffs. Things are good for the Dallas Cowboys. They took care of business in a rather emphatic manner with the 38-10 pounding of the Washington Commanders. Most obviously, this made them the 2 seed in the NFC, ensuring a home game to start the playoffs, and at least one more if they get through the wild-card round against the Green Bay Packers. Less apparent, though, are some things that could carry through and help them advance in the postseason. Here's a look beyond raw stats at some more subtle inferences from the season finale. The head coach got it almost perfect. Mike McCarthy has made his share of blunders this season, but this may have been his best coaching job all year. While we always focus on what happens during games, the job of the head coach covers the entire week. Preparation is perhaps the most important thing in his job description. This was a major task for the Washington game. While the previous week had put Dallas in great position, the narrow, controversial win over the Detroit Lions was not really enough to inspire great confidence in the team's recovery from the back-to-back losses the preceding weeks. It was important to have the team focused on playing well and setting the tone entering the playoffs. There was also the fact that the Cowboys could back into the NFC East title even if they lost. That could have happened as the Philadelphia Eagles continued their tailspin, not even coming close to winning their game over the New York Giants. McCarthy deserves a ton of credit for having his team primed and pumped for the last game. That is something he will need to continue. Then he conducted something of a masterclass calling the offense. Playing outdoors in dicey weather is something that has often gone poorly for Dallas. It was a windy, cold game, but that hardly hindered the Cowboys. They not only put up a big score, they moved the ball with great efficiency. They had 31 first downs. In a lot of games, they have had to rely on converting third downs, but they only faced 10 the entire game, with a 60% success rate. They also had 1 fourth down conversion. 9 of their first downs were the initial plays of drives. A little quick math shows that they got the other 15 first downs on early downs, which is a great showing. Things were going so well, Brian Anger never had to punt. It helps to have your offensive players really cooking, but give McCarthy credit for how he put them in position to succeed. The only criticism that might be made is he could have safely put Cooper Rush and the other backups in earlier. He was probably wanting to make sure Dak Prescott and the rest of the starters were fully prepared for what is to come. It was a judgment call, and given how well-protected Prescott was all game, it may have been justified. Offensive line depth. It is great news that the starters will all be back together for the wild card game against the Packers. That should not overshadow the impressive job done by TJ Bass and Brock Hoffman against the Commanders. Prescott never came close to being sacked, and Washington did not even register a single hit on him. There were also some very good holes opened up for the running backs. Coming into the season, offensive line depth was a concern. That looks a lot better now. The other offensive line backups also got some valuable reps once the starters went to the sidelines, including Matt Waletzko. Advancing in the playoffs often depends on quality depth, and it is starting to look like that may actually exist for the line. QB1 was on fire. McCarthy called a masterful game, including the 2-minute drill to score just before halftime, but the other half of that was a truly stellar game by Prescott. He completed over 80% of his passes for the 4th time this season, a new NFL record. He also carried out the game plan for the windy conditions to perfection. He took almost no deep shots all game. He didn't need to. While the offensive line deserves praise for his protection, Prescott also did a superb job protecting himself with quick, accurate throws. This is really a great example of how the various elements all work together. Oh, and it doesn't hurt to have your quarterback playing the best season of his career. The running game is showing up at the right time. This has been a sorely needed element of the offense. While things are going to be harder against other playoff teams, we hope this is a sign of things to come. Dallas averaged 4.5 yards per carry, and there were far fewer failed early down rushing attempts in the game. Tony Pollard's running chart is for once enjoyable. Only 4 of his rushing attempts were failed ones. That is far better than we are accustomed to seeing. Pollard's best series was the one he capped with a 1-yard touchdown run. The second story is Dallas Cowboys MVP quarterback Dak Prescott reveals intense message for playoffs versus Green Bay Packers. The Cowboys ended their 2023 regular season with a 38-10 road beating of division rival Washington and are heading into wild card weekend riding the hot arm of quarterback Dak Prescott. Dallas ended the season 12-5 and with Prescott being named among league MVP candidates. But with all the accolades and personal accomplishments that come with the team's 25th overall division title, Prescott isn't satisfied. Prescott was approached by television reporters after the win over Washington and asked why he wasn't wearing a Dallas Cowboys NFC East Champions hat or shirt. Prescott replied, "I want something better." Prescott's message? Winning the East isn't good enough. His eyes are on a bigger prize. The Cowboys have advanced to the divisional round of the playoffs just 5 times since their last Super Bowl win after the 1995 season and lost each time. Since Prescott joined the Cowboys as a 4th-round pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, Dallas has made the playoffs just 4 times before this season, losing twice in the wild-card round and twice in the divisional round. Prescott knows the history. He knows what's at stake. The fact that the Cowboys have not sniffed a Super Bowl or NFC Championship game since 1996 is not lost on him. So while it's okay to celebrate a regular season goal like winning the division, we'll excuse his decision to not observe the achievement with a hat or shirt. He's got something much bigger in mind. The Dallas Cowboys capped a fantastic regular season by winning the NFC East. It's a testament to the Cowboys' roster construction that they won another 12 games despite losing a number of key contributors in the offseason. The release of Ezekiel Elliott hurt the most, but the Cowboys also said goodbye to Dalton Schultz, Connor McGovern, Noah Brown, and Carlos Watkins. Now with the Texans, Schultz and Brown are headed to the playoffs, while McGovern is also playoff-bound with the Bills. Cowboys fans would have loved to see Elliott return to the postseason, but the Patriots had no chance. Following their Week 18 loss, Zeke's Patriots clinched the number 3 overall pick in the draft. Elliott expressed a desire to return to New England in 2024, but the team's expected to undergo significant turnover in the offseason. What we do know about Elliott's future, at least in the short term, is that he plans to return to Dallas to support his former team. Elliott didn't specify if he'd be in town for Sunday's first-round game against the Packers, but we like to think he'll be in attendance. While Elliott didn't leave on great terms, he's had nothing but positive things to say about the franchise following his release. He understands the business side of the game. We'd even venture to say he saw the writing on the wall. Regardless, the respect and love between Zeke and the Cowboys is mutual. When the Patriots visited AT&T Stadium in Week 4, Dallas crafted a special video tribute for Elliott that highlighted his finest moments with the team. The clip culminated when the video board showed a choked-up Dak Prescott clapping for Elliott, who returned the gesture with his signature "Feed Me" celebration. Even if Elliott harbors some hard feelings over his release, his friendship with Dak Prescott and other former Cowboys teammates goes beyond football. Fans hope Elliott will one day return to Dallas as a player, maybe in the form of a one-day contract before he retires, or as a short-yardage specialist on a one-year deal. That's the happy ending Zeke deserves, but there's plenty of time to speculate on his future. In the meantime, Elliott will be supporting Prescott and the Cowboys as they look to defeat the Packers and move on to the divisional round. As much as we'd love to have him on the sidelines, Jerry Jones should do right by the 2-time rushing champ and invite him into his suite for the game. The third story is Cowboys could land potential $125 million coach amid rumors. Only Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones could give a current head coach job security while also leaving the door open for a potential change. All this has prompted rumors that Jones could go big game hunting and make a run at the Michigan Wolverines' Jim Harbaugh or New England Patriots' Bill Belichick this offseason. During his weekly radio show with 105.3 The Fan, Jones appeared surprised that Mike McCarthy's job security is a topic of discussion. Yet, just days earlier, Jones noted that the Cowboys would take it game by game with McCarthy when it comes to the postseason. It is hard to imagine the Cowboys moving on from McCarthy after 3 straight seasons with 12 regular season wins. Another early playoff exit for the Cowboys will add fuel, rightly or wrongly, to the fire about McCarthy's future. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox made the argument as to why Harbaugh would be a top candidate if the Dallas makes a surprise move with McCarthy. Could Dallas be one of those teams interested in Harbaugh? It's difficult to believe otherwise. Harbaugh is about to play for one championship, and he wasted little time getting the same opportunity the last time he was in the NFL. Knox wrote in a January 8, 2024, article titled, "Ideal Head Coaching Fits for Cowboys If They Lose in NFL Playoffs, Fire Mike McCarthy." Harbaugh reached the NFC title game in his first season as the 49ers head coach and made it to the Super Bowl the following year. If Jones wants a head coach who has proved he can yield fast results, Harbaugh is his ideal target. It's not hard to envision Jones swooping in and making a play for arguably this year's hottest coaching candidate. If Jones does make a run at Harbaugh, it would cost the Cowboys owner a premium. Bleacher Report's Jordan Schultz reported that Harbaugh could land an average annual salary of $15 million in the NFL.